Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome to day 2 of my second free live stream event on the 8 Clair senses. Today is the day that we're going to be covering Clairempathy. So I'm going to wait just a minute for everyone to hop on. Hey, Soraya. Are you back yet? Or do you get home tonight? We're trying to decide if we're going to go to the arts festival tonight. My back is out, though. Moving is no bueno. Moving and... yeah. Hello, hello. Everyone's out enjoying their Saturday, probably. Hey, Talisa. There's like craziness going on with my internet right now. Say hi to me as you guys are hopping on, so I know you're here. Oh my gosh, you guys, I, for some reason, want to do Clairempathy so bad today. It's supposed to be Claircognizance Day. So we're just gonna go ahead and do Clairempathy because, hey Karen, we're gonna do Clairempathy because I've been trying to do Clairempathy all day. I keep saying it's Clairempathy. What did I say in my emails? Hi, Linnea. I'm going to look at my email and said, what did I say today was going to be? I think I put it in today's email that today was Clairempathy. And I think I put it in, hey, Amanda. And, oh my gosh. What's happening here? So the first day, I think I said it right, which was today was supposed to be Claircognizance. Yes. But I think in today's email, I said Clairempathy. Hey, Amy. I did. I'm losing it. Okay, well, how about the people that are on the live stream decide whether they want this live stream to be about Clairempathy or Claircognizance? So those of you that are watching, let me know whether you want this to be Clairempathy or Claircognizance. Let me know. Let me know. How's the connection, you guys? If the connection's okay, give me some hearts. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what we do today. Either one's fine. I'm looking forward to all of them. Okay, so we're gonna do Clairempathy because that's what I sent out the video about today. Okay, empathy it is. Empathy it is, and then we'll do cognizance on Monday because we have Aaliyah coming with mediumship tomorrow. Okay, so one of the things I think that I wanted to really share with you guys was that, let's get some more lighting over here. It's a little bit dark. Do some adjustments, of course. It wouldn't be a Leah live stream without some adjustments. Joyce, you're right on time. We are just barely getting started. I'm trying to adjust the lighting so the lighting's a little better. How's that? Not so shadowy, not so dark. There we go. Ooh, much better. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you all is that I wanted to share a little bit about my gifts and the development of my gifts and how it's impacted me in my life. You know, I have had my gifts since I was a little girl, and then I came to a point where I shut them all down. And, you know, my mother would swear when I was little that I could change traffic lights, and we would be out somewhere before cell phones, right? And I would say, Grandma's calling. And my mom would say, oh, you mean you want to call Grandma when we get home? And I'd say, no, Grandma's calling. And then we'd get home and my grandma would call and she would say, oh, I called you about 1:30 today, which was right at the time I was saying Grandma's calling. You know, and energetic frequency has always been a really big thing for me. So, hey, Mallory, you know, throughout my life will blow out lights, turning on light switches. So this stuff has always really been present for me. But I saw my past great-grandmother after her funeral walking behind the car. And that was the time when I really just kind of shut everything down, because as a child, that was really scary for me. And I would say, you know, I would tell people later in life, because I have always had really amazing luck in work environments. So by the time I was in my late 20s, I had done things that people in their 40s, you know, were still aiming to do. Jobs would just kind of fall into my lap. Amazing opportunities and positions would fall into my lap. And it's interesting. So I think it's a couple of things. One, it definitely is that my gifts allowed me to have what I used to refer to as good business instincts. I would say, oh, I just have good business instincts. But it wasn't that. It was that I was literally using my gifts, even though I thought they were shut down. And I was just going to say something else. Instincts. I lost it. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. I'm in a little bit of pain because I threw my back out today, and which is not necessarily something you want to do when you're moving your entire house to move halfway across the world, or literally like across the world. So gifts, yeah. They've just been really powerful in my life. They've showed up in the most amazing ways. They have enriched my life. They've made my life better. I, you know, consciously, I think began turning them back on maybe 12 years ago, where I started my reawakening and tapping back into my gifts and sort of allowing them to come back to the surface. And it's only really been in the last probably 4 or 5 years that I've fully just been like, I'm all in, right? I'm all in on letting them show up whenever and however they're going to, and have been taking an active position of developing them. So the most important thing, though, is it's not about embracing the gifts. It's not about developing the gifts. It's learning how to control them. That's where the magic really comes from. Because, you know, all of us have these gifts. They show up at different times in our life, and some are more dominant than others. Most people have have 3 that are dominant, that show up a lot. Or once they start their reawakening, it's like there's 3 that are dominant, just that dominant, right? And then you may have other ones that show up sporadically. So in my spiritual gifts program, what I'm having the women do is choose 2 that they're going to develop, and then learn how to control really well, so that they're able to utilize them day to day and have them really enrich and make a difference in their lives. Oh, I know what I was going to say earlier. I had that, whatever that thing was that I was trying to say earlier, just like would not escape me. So I also have been studying human design, and it's really interesting because I think certain human design profiles are very common in people who naturally have a lot of these gifts from birth, where multiple gifts are showing up frequently for them. And the 5-1 profile is one of those profiles that I believe that that's the case with. And also people who are projectors, I think, have these gifts showing up a lot for them, very easily and naturally. So it's interesting because, you know, I've had all of these businesses and all of these career opportunities and really, really amazing things happen to me in my life. And Paige Filiator, who is an amazing woman that does human design, when she was looking at my chart with me, basically told me that I have a mastery line. And, you know, so I think that the gifts have something to do with the, you know, being good at different things and being able to master certain things. And then certainly also this mastery line does as well. Okay. So, yeah, but, the reason that I decided to do this live stream event and redo the live stream event is that I think people shrug off their gifts and don't acknowledge that they have these gifts. And a lot of people don't know that they have them. So as we went through this 8-day live stream event last time, I remember every single video, people going like, oh my gosh, I have that. Oh my gosh, I didn't know I had that. Like, you know, just getting the information helps you realize how these gifts are showing up in your life. And I wanted to do the spiritual gifts intensive because I know from personal experience that when you decide to embrace these gifts, and you use them in conjunction with other skills and talents that you have, it gives you a huge edge and it can make your life magical. So there's a huge awakening happening right now. People's gifts are coming on hard and fast. And that can be very scary. And that's another reason why I decided to do the spiritual gifts intensive, because I get messages from women, you know, multiple a week, 5 to 10 messages any given week of women who have gifts showing up for them and they don't really know what to do. They don't know how to handle them. Sometimes they're scary. I mean, there's people waking up in the middle of the night and seeing figures in their bedrooms. Many of you have heard me talk about, especially if you're part of the Magical Life group, that the veil, when the veil thinned in the fall of last year, it never fully went back up. And so we have people having all kinds of experiences that they weren't used to having. And that in and of itself, having the experiences is kind of setting off a chain reaction of gifts waking up and becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. But what I'm definitely seeing is that they're coming on stronger than they have in the past. So whereas before it would be very, very subtle and it would be slowly and the development would happen over time, I literally have clients that are, you know, beginning to do this work and a week later are having spirits show up wanting to talk to them, wanting help crossing over, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So just know that if this is out there happening to you and you are watching this video, you're not alone. I have an amazing community of women that are going through the same thing. If you're not in my group, The Magical Life, it's my free group. Please join it. You are welcome. If you are a woman, if you are a spiritually minded, open-minded woman, you are welcome in that group. And again, the Spiritual Gifts Intensive is absolutely amazing for women that are really looking to develop and learn to control their gifts. So with that, let's jump into Clairempathy. I feel like there's a possibility that I am not seeing comments. Let me see. want to just double check something really quick. Nope, it looks like we're good. Oh. Blanca is commenting on the day one video. She's watching the day one video. Okay, just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anyone's comments. Okay, so let's talk about clairempathy. So clairempathy is intuitive feeling. Hey, Christine. Intuitive feeling of emotion. So what we are talking about when we talk about clairempathy are people who are psychic empaths. So the first thing I want to talk about is the distinction. Clairempathy is not empathy. They are not the same thing. There is a difference between being empathetic and being empathic. So there's also a difference between being an empathetic person and being a psychic empath. So a big distinction there between being empathetic, which, you know, if you were raised not with wolves, most likely you have empathetic bones in your body, right? And you have the ability to be an empathetic person. That does not mean that you are empathic or that you are a psychic empath. So empathy is let me just see. No, first I want to tell you, I'm going to give you the definition that I love of clairempathy before we go into that. So, it's the supernatural ability to feel what others feel and to clearly read the energetic vibrations of people, places, animals, or objects. So again, a supernatural ability to feel what others feel and to clearly read the energetic vibrations of people, places, animals, or objects. So empathy is something that all humans have, unless they have a major personality disorder. If you've had appropriate, like I said, if you weren't raised by wolves, if you've had appropriate socialization as a child, that creates empathy. So that means that you identify or you sympathize with the feelings or pain of others. And so if you are exhibiting empathy, that means you are being empathetic, which is not the same thing as empathic. So empaths energetically sense the emotions of others through the psychic or spiritual gift of clairempathy. They are sensitive to emotional and somatic energy. And somatic is basically the feeling in the body associated with emotion. So if you're not familiar with that term. People with clairempathy can clearly and directly experience others' emotions. And yes, so many people who work in the spiritual space have clairempathy. This is one of the most common for people who are having a spiritual awakening or who are who have other gifts. This one shows up a lot. They experience others' emotions, thoughts, and feelings as if they were their own. So that's the kind of the key here. So empathy is like you have sympathy or you are cognizant that somebody else is going through something and you can put yourself in their shoes and you can feel badly for them. But empathy or being empathic is actually experiencing the emotions, thoughts, and feelings as if they were your own. Experiencing emotional energy as opposed to observing of someone's feelings and interpreting them through your other senses. So interpreting them through your other senses or interpreting them through sensory clues. So for example, if somebody's upset, you may have empathy for them when you are, when you see that their face looks sad, or they look pale, or they're shaking, you can tell that they're sick, or, they're crying, so that you know that they're emotional. So you can, if they're experiencing grief and you can see the physical symptoms on their body, that cues you into what they're experiencing. Being empathic would be that you would feel that sadness in your own body. People with clairempathy do not perceive the energy through the normal 5 senses. So it's extrasensory perception. They do not need to physically be in the same space as the person that they're feeling the emotions, thoughts, or feelings of. And they don't need to be able to hear, see, or touch the person or thing. So some signs that you are an empath. You have a gut-wrenching desire or need to make the world a better place. You feel it's your duty to serve others or help others. You're repulsed by the cruelty of the world. Empaths often have a really difficult time watching the news or reading the newspaper because they become overwhelmed with emotion. You get overwhelmed in crowds of people because you're picking up on so many different people's energy. You experience unpleasant physical symptoms when you're around other people. You experience emotions not your own, especially when you're with other people. It can be really tricky for empaths that are in relationships because they will often feel their partner's emotions as their own, and it's sometimes very difficult to distinguish between what's yours and what's your partner's. You experience mood swings. These people who are empaths are often diagnosed with bipolar disorder or manic depressive tendencies. You have frequent and rapid changes in energy. So you might wake up and feel totally fine and then go out grocery shopping and come home and be exhausted because you've picked up so much energy from the people in the place where you were doing your shopping. There is an intense awareness of others' physical and emotional state. So you are the person that literally, you can see somebody walk into a room and know exactly what's going on with them. If they're happy, if they're sad, if they're angry, if they just got in a fight with their boyfriend. You can read the energy imprints on people, places, and things. So we know that energy creates an imprint. So if I'm here sitting on this couch, long after I'm gone, my energetic imprint is going to be here on this couch. So people who are empaths could read the energy on this couch and tell you, Leah was sitting on this couch, she was doing a live stream about clairempathy, right? We saw you over on Clairvoyance, Blanca. I thought you were commenting on this live stream, and I had to double check to make sure I was able to see comments here. They're very good at reading the intentions or hidden agendas of others. It's very difficult to lie to an empath because they usually can feel it. They feel physical symptoms. They're literally like a human polygraph machine. So they can feel the physical symptoms that change in the body when somebody's lying. They do this through sensing. So the difference between clairempathy and clairsentience is literally feeling the physical symptoms. Clairempathy is actually sensing those symptoms. So these two get a little bit tricky, and we may actually end up needing to do clairsentience tomorrow because, or on the next one that I do. Aaliyah is going to be doing mediumship tomorrow, but because these two, first of all, people often have clairempathy and clairsentience, and they can be very difficult to distinguish. But remember, the difference is the sensing of emotion or feeling and the actual physical feeling. So somebody who's clairsentient, if I hit my leg really hard like that, they're gonna feel that slap on their leg. If I hit my leg really hard like that on my leg, the person with clairempathy is going to feel, but through sensing that I've done that. Their leg isn't going to physically hurt, but they may they'll pick up on the pain, but their physical leg won't hurt. The clairsentient person's leg will hurt. So if I cut myself, the clairsentient person is going to feel as if their hand is cut. Their hand is going to literally hurt. The person with clairempathy is going to say, oh, wow, you cut your hand and that hurt. They're going to be able to sense it. They'll feel it, but they won't feel the physical pain of it, if that makes sense. Those two are a little tricky. People with clairempathy feel psychological, physical, and medical conditions or symptoms. Doctors are frequently have clairempathy. They often feel sick without feeling sick. So they feel ill but with no physical symptoms. And that can often be from energetic overload from being in large groups of people. So they must have very, very disciplined self-care and protection practices to shield themselves. Psychic overload is definitely a thing, and it happens frequently to people with clairempathy. So this was actually one that I wasn't going to cover, how to develop and learn to control in my spiritual gifts intensive. We were going to focus on the others, but there are so many women that are really struggling with this that we've decided that we are going to focus on this as one of the gifts that we're covering, because it's not necessarily that the women need to learn to develop it, but they do need to learn to control it. So psychic overload, definitely a thing. Here are the things that you can do. Ground yourself. It's really important to do grounding exercises to send that energy back into the earth, everything that you are taking in when you're out in the world. Protect yourself daily. With most of my clients who are empathic, I ask them to do protection exercises morning and night, and then also like before they leave their house, sometimes when they get home, and then clear their energy, replenish themselves, fill themselves back up, and repeat. So literally it's like ground, protect, clear, replenish, repeat. Like that is the life of someone who is an empath, right? This gift is ruled by the fourth chakra, the heart, and the second chakra, the sacral. So the sacral and the heart chakra rule this gift. People with clairempathy often have other gifts. So the most common of the ones that people with clairempathy have: clairsentience, clairtangency or clairtaction, and clairvoyance. And it's, like I said, the difference between sentience and empathy is sensing versus feeling. So sensing versus physical feeling. But they're closely related and often confused. So people with clairempathy have a natural ability to heal. People are drawn to them. They're the people that say, oh my gosh, I met this woman and they... hold on, my husband is trying to take my kids to get their haircut, and so he's texting me, even though he knows. So hold on one second, let me get him the address. Do you love it that I have to stop in the middle of my live stream to get there it is, the address for him? Crazy town. Okay. My boys need haircuts before we leave the country. So people are drawn to them. So they're the people that, say, oh my gosh, like these complete strangers come up to me and they're like, tell me their whole life story and like all of their medical conditions and about their divorce and about how their husband's cheating on them. And these are the people that with clairempathy, people are just naturally drawn to them. They naturally, people just feel the need to tell them all of their problems. They make very good counselors and therapists, and people who are counselors and therapists often have this gift. These people are also frequently targeted by sociopaths and narcissists and energy vampires. So this is one of the reasons why they need to be really careful of protecting themselves. They need to learn that this gift comes along with those things, so that they're very careful about the people that they let into their lives. One of the things that's so interesting to me is that these people are generally such good judges of character, but when it comes to their personal relationships and love lives, they can be fooled very easily. So they're able to give other people amazing advice. They're able to see when bad people have come into other people's lives, but they sometimes really struggle with it in their own lives. So this is one of the things that I'm really wanting to work on with the women in my Spiritual Gifts Intensive. So some ways to develop this gift that you can do right now, starting right now, is to practice with a friend. Doing a body scan. So you can do this over the phone or you can do this in person, but you literally do a body scan. Close your eyes, do a body scan of your friend and see what you pick up. It's fun to have them write down on a card the issues that they're having, or the pains or the problems that they're having in their body. Have them write it down on a card, put it upside down on the table. You practice going through the body scan, looking at the body, and then seeing what you come up with. It's a fun way to begin to kind of develop and learn to control this gift. Once these people learn to control their gift, this is perhaps one of the most amazing ones. People with this gift can literally take people's pain from them and heal them. But this is very serious, because if they don't know how to discharge that energy, then they can become ill themselves. So it's really important that they know how to discharge the energy from themselves after they've taken it from a person, because it literally can lead to sickness, disease, and even death. With people who are empaths, it is very, very important that they do not channel, that they do not also channel until they have learned to control their clairempathy, because what will happen is they will have more difficulty discerning self from the channel, and their emotions from the emotions of the beings and entities that they're channeling. And they can actually become very dependent upon the entities that they channel, because they get to a place where they're not able to decipher their own emotions. So it's really, really important, that people with clairempathy do not channel until they've learned to really, really control their clairempathy. So these people are frequently diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And autoimmune disease. But fibromyalgia in particular. So if you have fibromyalgia and you feel like this is you, this could very well be why, because you are not discharging energy from yourself once you've taken it on. Most people do not want to learn to develop this gift. It's kind of that thing that, like, if you have it, you have it. It's not one, for me, like, this stays very shut down in me most of the time. It is not something that I access frequently. I have it very, very controlled. I keep it very, very locked down, because I do not like to experience the negative side effects that come with this gift. Control is key with this gift. Otherwise, it can literally lead to you living a life of misery. I know people with this gift that have locked themselves in their homes for years at a time, because going out into the world and into public was too uncomfortable for them, because they didn't know how to control this. So are you a human design projector? I am a human design projector. Sometimes you also have clairempathy, but you may just be a human design projector and be mistaking your projectorness for being empathic. I think that this gift is fairly common in varying degrees. I don't think that there are a ton of people out there that have this gift very, very highly developed. I think that claircognizance is probably way more common than clairempathy. But in varying degrees of strength, it is definitely one of the most common. I believe truly that autoimmune disease is on the rise because of this gift, because people are not able to discharge energy that they're taking in. And I think that has a lot to do with, this huge reawakening that the planet is having right now. This gift for sure is the most destructive if not controlled properly to your physical body and emotional state. So that is kind of the info on Clairempathy. What questions do you guys have? How many of you on this live stream feel that you have it? And I'm going to go back and read the comments now because I know that several of you have been saying. I know Christine definitely does. Courtney says it's been extreme for her lately. Let's see. Amanda says there was this one time my family and I were camping and we went hiking in a place we do every year, but went further than normal and came across a place, cave. I suddenly felt I could not continue. It felt like a place of harm. I headed back to the car. Less than 30 minutes later, my cousin had a super deep cut on his hand from the cave. It depends on how you felt it. Did you feel physical symptoms in your body or were you sensing it? If you were sensing it, it was Clairempathy. Hi, Val. Hi, Angel. So Angel says she experiences both, and it's hard sometimes with the overwhelming feelings. I think she's saying she experiences both clairempathy and clairsentience. And if you have both, it doesn't really, you don't really need to know which one you're experiencing because frequently, so not everybody who has clairempathy is clairsentient, but almost everybody who's clairsentient has clairempathy. Val says it happens to her all the time. Mallory has it. Blanca has it. Amy, what about you? Amy Boswinkle. Are you a clairempathy lady? Okay. Does anyone have questions about clairempathy? Again, this is one that's I wasn't going to cover this in the Spiritual Gifts Intensive because I was I really don't feel like people want to develop this. I don't feel like people are oh, I want to, make my life miserable. And so I wasn't going to cover it, but so many people are wanting to do it that I think we're really just going to focus on the learning to control, not the learning to develop this one. Talisa says she has more of the sentience than empathy. Angel wants to discharge. Erica wants to discharge. Talk about discharging energy. I will talk about that in a second. I've never felt someone's physical pain, but I can definitely feel emotions as if they're my own. Okay, so feeling emotions as if they're your own is clairempathy. I sense my daughter's gonna get hurt. Okay, so Blanca, that sounds like claircognizance to me. That well, here's the question. Did you see it in an image? Did you just have a knowing that it was gonna happen? Or did you feel? That seems like that's either claircognizance or clairvoyance, what you're experiencing, because it happened in the future. So it was precognition of event that was going to happen. And unless you physically felt the cut where she needed stitches, or you sensed that she was gonna, I think it's okay, so it was claircognizance then. That was claircognizance. Melissa says she picks up everyone's negative energy all the time, leaving me absolutely drained. Okay, so you are a person that has to have amazing protection exercises. You've got to be doing self-protection in the morning, in the night, and you've got to be doing them before you leave your house. And you also need to be discharging that energy before you come back in your home. So there's lots and lots of different ways to discharge energy. We're going to be going over and covering a lot of them in the Spiritual Gifts Intensive, because all of the gifts, you need to know how to discharge the energy. You need to know how to get rid of energy out of your system. It's really, really important. But grounding, actual grounding is a really amazing way to do it. So literally shoes off in the lawn, feet in the dirt or in the grass, and picturing from the top of your head, it's funny because like, I always feel like it's like a push pop. I don't know why this is how I visualize it, but upside down, like you're pushing the thing out of the push pop, right? But literally like pushing all the negative energy, everything that's not yours, down into the ground through your feet. That's the easiest and quickest way I know of to discharge energy. Now there's lots of other ways. There are different crystal baths that you can take with crystals that will take that energy from you and transmute it. There are, you can discharge energy through using Palo Santo or smudging. There's lots of ways to dispel energy, but for Clairempaths, I think one of the most effective is the grounding exercise of literally just sending everything out into the ground. But you've got to have your physical feet touching dirt and grass. And so this is the thing. It's like people who have Clairempathy are like, why are all my boyfriends sociopaths? Why do I get all the crazy friends who are constantly sucking my energy? It's because they're drawn to you. It's like you're this bright, beautiful light bulb, and they're like, oh, there's somebody that we can go take advantage of. And I don't even know that they are doing it intentionally, but that's the energy. It's the magnetic pull of the person who has Clairempathy. So, thanks for joining me today. This was amazing. Sorry I was a little bit scattered in the morning. I'm still scattered, obviously, because I'm saying morning and it's afternoon. Sorry I was a little bit scattered in the beginning. We are packing house and packing storage unit, and we leave in 6 days for Bali, which is crazy. My back went out today. It's just insanity. So I'm doing the best I can. So I hope the content was valuable. I've been sending the energy down through the roots. I imagine myself as a literal tree and shoot that shit into the earth's core. Exactly. That is exactly what you should be doing. And that's the thing. It's like Mother Earth will take all of that from you and transmute it back into usable energy, right? So, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be that the energy that you've taken on is negative. It's just not your own, and you can't continue to carry that with you. That's why these people get fibromyalgia. That's why there's autoimmune popping up left and right. It's not just the negative energy. It's just all the energy that's not yours. It's like putting too much, it's that thing of like my energetic thing where like I blow out light bulbs. There's too much voltage. There's too much energy running through my body. And when you have when you're overloaded, it short circuits you, right? I carry a sage spray with me or Palo Santo. Yeah, amazing. Like I love Palo Santo. I'm not a huge fan of sage, so I really like Palo Santo. I actually also do like these little incense cups where I burn little pieces of sage and Palo Santo like broken up in those little incense cups. Sage spray. So you can buy, some of the metaphysical shops buy or sell sage spray, but you literally can get sage and put it in a bottle of water, like a spray bottle of water, shake it up and spray it. Some of this stuff like is not that difficult, and you might pay somebody like $10 for that, and you could make it yourself for like $1.50. And you can also do salt, mineral salt, and sage in water, shake it up, spray it. You can do essential oils in there so it smells good. There's all kinds of things that you can do protection wise and clearing energy. All right. Well, we're on day 2. Aaliyah Dawn will be going live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain Time with her free content on mediumship. So that should be amazing. And so you'll definitely want to check that out. It will be on her page. So if you haven't followed her, you should definitely do that. I will put her name here in the comments so that you can click on her and follow her if you like. And, I just had an interesting little energetic thing happen there, and I've got some ringing ears. So some kind of download's going to be coming through here any minute. My electronics aren't working good today, so it's really interesting. I'm wondering what's happening out in the energetic sphere because it's been an interesting day. Okay, so I just put Aaliyah's name there, so you can click on her name. Definitely go friend request her so you can see hers. I'll also share her video to my page. We'll share her video to my page so that If you're not able to make the live, you can catch the replay. And then I will be back on Monday, and I think we'll change this around and we'll actually cover clairsentience so that you guys are really aware of the differences between the two. So we'll do clairsentience on Monday, and then do claircognizance, which is my favorite, which is why I wanted to do it on day 2. But apparently I talked about clairempathy was meant to be done today, obviously based on the people that were online commenting today. So we will do clairsentience tomorrow. And, oh wait, did clairsentience get deleted? Let me look. Let me look at this. Let me just look at this for a minute. Maybe clairsentience didn't get deleted. Oh no, clairsentience did. Clairsalience did not get deleted. All right, we're good to go. So we will do clairsentience on Tuesday, Monday, clairsentience on Monday, claircognizance on Tuesday. And then we'll just have clairaudience, which I think will be Thursday, because I think Aaliyah's doing Wednesday channeling, and then I'll be doing Thursday clairaudience. So the schedule will switch around a little bit. If you already know that you need to be in this program, if you already know that this Spiritual Gifts Intensive is for you, I would love, love, love to have you join me. There's amazing payment plan options available, and you can also create your own payment plan if the ones that I have set up don't work for you. But would love to have you join me. I still have not gotten around to editing this lead page. So what you'll want to do for more information is to click on the lead page, scroll about halfway down, and you'll get to the information on the Spiritual Gifts Intensive. And you can just click on the payment link, and it'll take you to the payment plan so you can see what those are. But it's $777 one-time payment. I may actually need to edit that. Let me see. Oh yeah, I need to go in and edit because it's pay in full $11.11. So what I'm doing is pay in full $777 and $11.11 total for the payment plan. So I will update that. I need to update it. And what else? I think that's it. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Rest of your Saturday, and join Aaliyah at 3 tomorrow for the module on mediumship. And I think that's it. So yeah, love you guys. And if you are in the Spiritual Gifts Intensive, I am going live right now in 3 minutes in the actual Spiritual Gifts Intensive. So if you know you want in, you could actually join now. You could join right now and get in on the Q&A call that's happening in exactly 3 minutes. Just so you know, the people that are signing up for the Spiritual Gifts Intensive, you will not miss out on any content. I'm actually extending the program for the people that are already in, so they'll actually get an extra 3 weeks of content. But you'll be able to catch up on everything that's already been done, but it will be a full 12 weeks for the new people that are joining. I think that's it. Have a great day. Mwah!